gaps of information and feeling like some people aren't just doing their due diligence.
What is up, y'all? We are live doing
now
another
I have to
session
pick up
of
the
D&D.
because they weren't doing it.
Are you farting?
No.
Yes,
Taco
it's
Bell
Taco
talking?
Bell.
Taco
No.
Bell.
Taco Bell Morse code.
Straight up, you don't gotta lie.
His
Really
colon
violent Taco Bell.
is
Sounding violent, yeah.
your colon is doing SOS distress.
Alrighty. Well, if everybody's situated, we'll do a quick recap of what happened last session. So,
Recap us up.
yeah. So last session, you meet once again after about maybe a month of rebuilding and prepping your guild hall. You spent most of the session walking around the local area, talking to some of the more prominent individuals. You were introduced to the local mayor of the town, Father Candleglow. He gave you a rather abrupt and short introduction to his little town. You got the impression that doesn't really care who you are, and he definitely doesn't really care for the position that he has. But you do now know that who the mayor is. You also spent a decent amount of the session shopping for your guild, making sure that it was stocked with all of the necessities such as food, oil for your lanterns, and more importantly, luxurious fine silk linens for the potential fuck buddy of Skul. That has yet to arrive, by the way. That order has been placed, and you are expecting it at some point in the near future. You also had conversations with Remy regarding the future of the guild and what it is you wish to do. But more importantly, you finally, after however many months of giving you enough time to think about it as players, you finally decided on a guild name, which makes me very happy. But in doing so, Brina, you decided it would have been hilarious, if not appropriate, to call upon an archfey by summoning him directly into the guild hall and having him do a trivial task for you of coming up with a name for your guild. Insulted, confused, and incredibly angry with all of you, a very brief fight ensued with the archfey, after which he was dismissed, sent back to his home plane, his final parting words being that he knew what you looked like and that he was coming for you. We pick up the following morning. I need everybody to roll a d20. Just a straight d20.
8.
Okay.
17.
Okay.
7.
Okay, in this order, Scar, you wake up first, followed by Brina and Skul. Scar, is there anything you wish to do first thing in the morning?
I'm gonna go downstairs and pour myself a drink.
Okay. You make yourself downstairs, you go to the bar that has been quite generously stocked with a lot of moonshine. Pour yourself a heavy glass, as is your orcish nature. Probably about 10-15 minutes later, Brina, you're awake as well. Is there anything you wish to do in the morning as you wake up?
Where's Rusty?
He's not in your room.
I'm gonna go find Rusty.
Riders, what's up?
You start pitter-pattering around.
Hey, Sudam. How
the
y'all
upper
doing
hallways,
today?
Looking to see where he might
Playing
be.
some D&D,
It's
so
at
I
this
thought I'd
point
stream
that
it for
you,
anyone who's
Skull,
interested in watching.
hear the constant creaking of floorboards outside in the hallway, and you are awakened, and Rusty kind of looks up at you expectantly now that he knows.
How's
you're
everyone
awake.
doing today? Okay, I'm gonna go out and see what's going on out there.
Okay. You open the door, you see Brina kind of like pacing the hallway floor, kind of looking around with sort of like the here, Rusty, 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 Rusty sort of like stance.
Okay.
Do you say anything to her, or do you let her continue to wander?
No, I let her continue to wander.
Okay. So, as you awaken up, Rusty kind of comes up and nudges you, kind of stretches his legs, does the doggy stretch where you start with this arched back, then he kind of stretches out the back legs and comes up to you, looks up, he goes, what do you want to do?
I pat him on.
Downstairs?
Yeah, I'm gonna go downstairs.
Okay. Are you trying to make sure Brina doesn't notice what you're doing and where you're going?
No.
Okay. Brina, as the door opens and you see Skul, you also see Rusty at his side, and he seems to be getting ready to head downstairs.
Okay.
It's all good, Riders. I'm glad you're doing good.
Can I
That's
just
awesome.
pick up Rusty like an oversized teddy bear and just walk downstairs with him?
You are relatively strong, so
Okay.
yes. And he's familiar with you, so I'll allow it without an animal handling check. So you pick up Rusty as a giant teddy bear. He kind of looks up with you. Are you picking him up from his chest and holding him with his feet dangling, or are you doing the whole like curl the dog?
Oh, I'm sure I
up your
will, man.
arm sort of?
It's
I'll be nice
it's
and
always
curl
super
him up
relaxing to play
because
some
that's
D&D.
uncomfortable
Okay.
Thanks for coming through the stream. I
to
appreciate it.
ribcage.
You scoop Rusty up in your giant dragonborn arms, curl him up in your arms, and he kind of looks up. He goes, kind of licks your chin.
Okay. I walk downstairs and I just pick a corner somewhere in the room and sit with him.
Okay. You sit down. Skul, you go downstairs as well. You notice your brother has already, at the bar, poured himself a heavy drink. Is probably about halfway finished with it.
In the morning? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the lanterns, by the way, are still on. If you wish to snuff them out, you may do so now.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out and do that.
Yeah, I mean, if like when I woke up, and if I saw them on, and if there was light outside, it wasn't like 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the morning where it was still kind of semi-dark, then I probably would have walked around with my glass and unlit the light.
It's pushing about 6:30 right around this time. It's like you're starting to see light in the sky, but the sun is only just now starting to just barely peek over the horizon.
Okay. Yeah. So after that, I would probably are there candles outside too?
There are lanterns that have been purchased and placed at the various locations throughout the interior of the building, but there are also 2 lanterns that light the doorway to your guild on the outside.
Okay.
And all of them up until now have had that same purplish blue glow reminiscent to your lantern.
Okay. All right. Yeah, then I would extinguish the 2 in the front.
Okay.
Open up the doors and extinguish them.
Okay. So it only takes you all a few minutes, but you extinguish the lanterns and you have the morning to yourselves. Is there anything you wish to do, wish to say?
So out of curiosity, Alex, do we know about what the Goliaths have planned or no?
As far as the bounty?
Yes.
You know that the bounty has, let me bring it up real quick so I can have it. There they are. Okay, so as far as the bounty that takes you out into Koldara, the bounty says that strange creatures of large nature have been spotted in the areas surrounding Koldara. The quest itself would have you go into that area to learn more about the situation and return back with whatever you have found. If you have killed creatures that exist of this particular nature, there might be a bonus for each creature killed.
And that's
Really, it's an information gathering bounty.
okay, and that's the one with the Goliaths.
That is the one that exists in the Goliath territory. You don't know if the Goliath specifically gave this to you or if it was somebody who just exists in that area. However,
Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait until everybody's up, and then I'm gonna ask them to meet in the meeting hall once when
Currently, everybody is downstairs.
Okay. So after everybody's eaten, then I'll ask if we can have a meeting in the what would you call it? Like the chambers?
Conference room, whatever you want to call it. You
Yeah.
can call it anything you want. Call me anything you want, sweetie. $5.99. You can call me whatever you want.
Yeah. So I'll say that.
Just so you know, the table is Waldita's second cousin on her mother's side.
Oh, rest in peace.
She a hoe too.
I kind of question the logic. Like, why not just like tell us here? There's no one else. We're all here.
We have
why
a
do we
conference room. We might as well use it.
Yeah, but it's just us. I mean, like, if we had more members, sure, that's fine. But like, it's just us.
Corvin wakes up late. He starts stretching his arms as you hear him pattering downstairs.
I wait for him to come downstairs, and then I tell him, apparently we have to go back upstairs and have a meeting.
The conference.
I thought it was
the
downstairs.
Conference room.
That we could
Yeah,
have right here.
the conference room isn't upstairs, Laurel.
It's downstairs next to the
Downstairs.
common area.
Yeah,
There's a
I don't wanna
separate door
walk
that goes into it.
far. I just got up and sat down with my dog.
At this point, you notice that Remy is sitting behind the clerk stations with like a hot cup of tea. You hear him. He's kind of like thumbing through paperwork.
Blind?
As far as you know, yeah, as far as you know, he's doing it blind. You actually, from this point of view, I'll say that you, particular Brina, notice that there is a slight glow in his eyes, and he seems to be constantly muttering something under his breath as he appears to have his hand touching the pages ever so carefully from left to right.
So how fast is he reading?
Not very fast, only as fast as his hand moves.
That's mildly fascinating. I'm going to ask him about it.
Walk on over.
What
Okay.
are you doing? Like, I kind of just knock his table. It's like, hey,
Startle him slightly. Hello?
I didn't know you could still read.
The dimly lit glow of his eyes fades. Goes, sort of. I know a thing that lets me read different languages.
Without you having to physically see it?
Well, originally, it worked when I could see. It still works now.
But what's the difference?
It's more like the words form in my head than in my eyes.
Do you think you'll get faster at it the more you use it?
Maybe.
Okay, well, keep at it.
He kind of keeps going at it. He keeps muttering under his breath. You can tell because of your mystical nature that he's mumbling an arcane incantation constantly as the dimly lit part of his eyes kind of comes back to life, and he begins kind of like brushing his hand across each of the papers.
Okay, I take note of that.
Corvin starts heading back upstairs. So we're having a meeting upstairs then?
Or apparently downstairs. I don't know. We could just have it here. It's just us.
Well, why did we turn that into a conference room? We could have made it like a, I don't know, rec room or something.
I know. It could have had like billiards.
Something. Yep. Maybe we could modify the table in there.
Something. I don't know. I mean, I could see us using it if we had dignitaries and other stuff. I just don't see us using it now.
Corvin pipes up as I dig into Corvin's proficiencies.
Uh-huh.
I happen to be an excellent player of cards. We could certainly make a little special room that we can entertain people in.
Yeah, I like that better.
Yeah.
But for now, it being a conference room, we should probably like conference in there.
I guess.
Can we conference over breakfast?
I turn around and my back faces everybody, and I put my hand up like it's in the name. And I
It doesn't
walk
have to
into
stay that
I
way.
walk
We
into the
own the
conference room.
building. Could be whatever we want.
Corvin walks over and he pours himself one of the couple kegs that you guys have, pours himself a little bit of beer.
Oh.
And he grabs himself, goes down to the cellar, grabs himself some jerky, and comes back up. Goes
Is that
into
the goat and
conference room.
jerky?
Yes, yes it is. Somewhere you're hearing a random goat and scream in pain. Smash is
Smashy.
going, what are they doing? They're eating my people. Anyway, Corvin walks in, sets the ale and the jerky in front of him, and he takes one of the seats.
I sit down next to him, but I just kind of slump over. On
He
the
kind of
table.
takes his jerky, kind of slides it slightly away from you. He goes, my jerky. Get your own.
It's crappy jerky. Why would I want it?
I mean, it's not great jerky, but it's not. He takes a little nibble. It's not bad. Starts chewing loudly.
Insight check.
Sure.
Oh, Corvin, that's actually dog treats that we got for Rusty.
Roll deception.
You got it.
That was an 8, Alex.
I mean, it's early in the morning. You don't think he's just being picky?
You have low standards.
15.
He almost spits it out immediately. Then he's like resisting the urge as it's right at the cusp of his teeth. He just looks at you, squints his eyes, and he just swallows really hard.
Oh, I was gonna make a direct eye contact and swallow
I
a joke,
may
but I'm on
be
stream.
tired, but I know even that can't be true.
Yeah, so anyways, since we're all here, I was thinking we probably should go figure out what's going on with the fishermen, as it's kind of a hometown problem. And after we figure that out, we should probably get to work on whatever we're gonna do. Kind of
They're
on a
probably
time.
just drunk and they think there's a problem, but there's no problem.
Well, it'll be a fast job then.
Yes, but what's like the
not wrong.
turnaround? Like,
I mean, I don't think a payment was mentioned.
No, a payment wasn't mentioned, but we want to get in good graces with the local town. You know what I mean? We're gonna be here
I
for
thought
a
we
while.
did that when we did shopping for like Bella.
I don't.
You know, we gave them pretty good business.
Yeah, that one shop. I don't really care.
The receipt was so high. He kind of like pulls out like a small receipt that he had saved from the other day when some of your goods were dropped off. Am I
How long
incorrect
is
in
the
assuming
receipt?
60 gold pieces for linens.
You keep receipts? I ask.
I mean, don't you? It's part of a standard business transaction.
I turn to Skul and I tell him, must be a Dominion thing.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, no, we never do that in the enclaves. That must be new.
Yeah, that's weird. What do you do with all the paper? Just clutter up the place?
Oh no,
I mean-
no! I think if you get a lot, you can like use it as an emergency way to wipe.
That's what I thought they were for. That's why I thought they handed them out as
Yeah.
like a courtesy.
Yeah.
He gets almost like the irritation in his voice as he sighs. Goes, it is a written record for a transaction that you or anybody else, a third party even, has had with anybody else. If there was a dispute to come into play, this receipt could be instrumental in proving a falsehood or a lie.
That sounds like a great way to cheat someone out of money.
I tell him, here, let me see that receipt really quick.
He kind of like looks at you first and he kind of gently slides it over to you.
I pick it up and I cast Conjure Flame on it. This is
It's a very flimsy, dry piece of parchment, and it instantly bursts into flames.
This is how we handle disputes, Corvin. You're in the enclaves now, bud. I kind of like blow the ashes over across the table where he passed it to me.
He just looks shocked. He's like, "But the nice lady gave us that."
Yeah, but she didn't even do it on nice paper, just like the flimsy stuff. Look how flammable it was.
Yeah.
It was the thought that counts. He
Well, like
slumps
I
over in
said,
his chair and he starts like digging into his jerky.
we
I
might
didn't know
have.
you were so passionate about paper.
Yeah, do you have like a thing for her, Corvin? You can tell us. We're your friends.
I think he's crushing on her.
He just looks at you, glares at all of you, just starts sulking in his chair, drinking his beer.
I didn't say a single word with this. I just kind of kept looking back and forth.
That's okay. You can't do math anyway. You were probably trying to stay out of it.
You're still confused as to what the heck the receipt is.
Yeah.
So you
Recipe.
get goods, and they give you paper.
Yo, what's good, Hunter? I'm streaming the D&D sesh per your
So
request,
anyway,
buddy.
all of you are present at the table. Rusty is at your guys' side. You have the conversation to yourself.
I just think that the closest task should probably be knocked out first. We're kind of on a time-sensitive schedule, considering that Corvin's going back to Polka soon.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that us three can probably take care of the thing at the town and he can go back to Polka?
We need Corvin as bait. I mean, backup.
Well, I mean, if
He looks at you. I'm sorry, what?
backup. Anyways,
Carry
yeah.
the team.
I mean, if he's here now, we could probably go knock it out and then go wherever we're gonna go.
I mean, Polka can wait if we wanted to do something first, but I should be reporting in sometime within the next week.
Okay. Well, do we have plans of what we want to do after?
Drink.
Yeah, there'll definitely be drinking involved, but I think he was talking about where we're gonna go.
I mean, we could go with Corvin to Polka. I have a gift for him that he needs to pick up.
Looks at you a little. Really?
Yes. I kept telling you, like, there's a present that you need to go pick up. You'll like it.
Looks at you first. I've seen what your presents have been like in the past.
I got you your cool cap.
Okay, man, we'll talk
That
about
was
it.
one of the very few very nice
I'd be
presents,
down.
and
I'm gonna
very
also continue
appreciative
the
of it.
old campaign at some point.
But this one you'll like. I promise you. You just need to go. Just tolerate the creepy lady and pick up your present. It's a nice present.
Okay.
Yes.
Back to the conversation. After Polka, unless I'm given specific orders by Fenrir or the other members of the order, I will be around to do whatever.
Okay.
How long is the trip to Polka?
By foot, you're probably looking at a 5-day journey. If you had
There and back?
no, to
You
get
can
there.
if you want, Hunter, but
By mount,
you
you'd
know,
probably be there in
your
about 2
your
days,
character is
3 days
still
if
kind
you're
of
going
in
a
the
little slower.
campaign. Scourge is still alive.
So
and
a
in the
round trip on
campaign.
mount probably take you about under a week. On foot, a little over.
How far is the Goliath area?
That is a more farther journey. That is way past north of Gricklock. So Gricklock from this point is probably about 5 to 6 days on mount. And then to get to Koldara, which was the kind of like carved into the mountain town that you visited last time you were there, would probably be another, I think it was about a week. Took you about a week on foot. So probably another 4 days of mounted travel.
Okay. With knowing that, I'm gonna say I think we should go into town and take care of whatever problem they have. I mean, if it's a serious threat, it would be good to have them indebted to us.
Yeah, I agree. It's important to keep a positive standing relationship with them. Should be up there on the priority list of the guild.
Agreed.
We have priorities.
Yeah, sometimes.
News to me.
I kind of cock an eyebrow at Brina, and then I kind of like shake my head after that. And then I look at everybody and say, so then what we'll do is we'll take care of the town first, and then Corvin, you can go to Poka.
That would probably be best. I would be back not that long afterwards. I simply need to have a talk with Blumber, and from what I'm told, what I need to do there doesn't take that long.
I have a shiver that goes down my spine. And then
Yes. You remember specifically the spitting image of your mother in the cellar of the dancing dryad.
yeah. And I say, so it's settled. We'll go into the town and we'll talk to Candle Flame. What was his name?
Well, no, we're gonna go check out the lake. The fishermen were seeing weird stuff, so we should probably start there. Then if we have to go question them or get information from them, we should do that. But I don't think it'll take too long. Doesn't sound like it will. It doesn't sound like a huge pressing matter, the way he talked about it.
Okay.
I turn to Skull and ask him, wait, should we like bring a little sample of Bone Snapper's Reserve?
Yeah, that's a
Bit of
great
free
idea.
marketing,
Oh yeah,
ingratiate
fishermen,
ourselves.
they
Yeah,
love
yeah.
moonshine.
Yeah. But not the nice tasting kind, just like the basic.
Yeah.
If they're having a hard time with like, something in the water, they probably, need to drink something.
Just if they're regular fishermen, they need to drink something.
Oh yeah, stay hydrated. I'm
Yeah,
always
stay
that.
hydrated. We should. That's our logo. That's like our motto that we are gonna put on the canisters.
Stay hydrated, my friend.
Yes. I don't
Or
always
should
get
did we mark it
steamrolled
like,
with moonshine.
2 O's or two, like what?
Yes.
He's been to the Dominion and back in only 5 days. He slept with the Grand Duchess herself, earning the favor of Mulder himself. He is the most interesting orc in the world.
That's good. That's hilarious.
Deadpan Nick Cage. Stay hydrated, my friend.
Like, stay hydrated, my friend.
Okay, so like just one bottle or 2 bottles? I figure
guess-
they like to share.
We probably should like figure out how we're gonna manufacture bottles. I didn't even think about that.
Do you think if they share everything, that's how they all get herpes?
They all have herpes.
I never thought of it that way.
I'm just assuming. Like I never share anything that is from a more rougher kind of folk, especially ones that have a very communal nature about them.
I turn to Corvin with like confused, innocent look, going, "What's herpes?"
Okay, after this conversation, Scar's gonna stand up and he's gonna say, okay, let's focus at the task at hand. Let's move out within the next 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm gonna walk out.
Do you think he knows what herpes is?
As I'm walking past, I guarantee he knows what herpes is. And I walk out and I go to the kitchen to try and find some vials or bottles that we could put samples or entire bottles together of moonshine with.
You didn't purchase anything specific when you were in town. You do know, however, if you wanted to empty out the canisters that have your spices into something else, you could use those to hold your mason jars or to hold your moonshine. Or you could just bring the bottle of moonshine that there's currently stored in.
Yeah.
Because they are currently stored in. There are currently jars of moonshine on the shelves.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll grab like a couple moonshines and wrap them up like spaced out in my bedroll and put them in my satchel.
Okay, good to know. Is there anything you wish to do before you embark for Stillwaters?
I'm just going to like let Remy and Bone Snapper know, and also let me pull out Dusty iPhone.
Well, you know that Remy is here at the clerk station, but Bone Snapper has not come up yet.
Oh, okay.
Though Angravar, by your own orders, is currently here. You don't know where he's at.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let Remy know that we're leaving, and we're embarking on a quest by the Stillwaters, and then I'm gonna go kind of like looking to see if I can find Angravar and or Bone Snapper.
Okay. Just as you remember me, make a perception check as you're kind of looking around for Angravar.
This is a +4.
Okay.
18.
Okay. You are looking up and down on the second and first floor to see where he might be. You know that you ordered him to have his quarters here instead of having them down near the blacksmith. As you're upstairs, you hear what seems to be like quiet prayer coming from one of the nearby closed doors.
Okay. Before I open the door, I kind of like stop, and kind of like put my ear towards the door. And when I kind of like understand that it's a prayer, I'm gonna kind of wait a few minutes to see, whether it's Bone Snapper or Angravar, allow them to kind of have like a second or two to finish praying.
While the voice is quiet, you do know that it is spoken entirely in Orcish.
Okay.
And it is a prayer specifically to Gork and no one else.
Okay.
It is asking for things like blessing for this day, for his strength to be upon him, that they might crush, their foes. A typical Gork prayer.
I was really hoping it was Bone Snapper praying over his moonshine.
That's why it tastes so good. The voice finishes, and then you hear what sounds to be...
Bless this holy moonshine.
15? Okay. You hear what seems to be the sound of metal scraping against a softer substance. And you hear a very light drip onto the floor.
Okay. I kind of wait to hear like wrestling going on, like to kind of hear him like stand up or something like that, and then I'll kind of like walk in.
Okay.
Or knock. I'll knock first.
You hear the floorboards begin to creak.
I knock on the door.
Come in.
I turn the knob. I don't know if it's a knob, but
It's got a knob.
then I turn the knob and I open up the door.
Okay. You see divided in all of the rooms. He closes the lid of the chest, puts a lock back on it, and he addresses,
"Oh, Guildmaster, what can I be doing for you?"
you do notice, by the way, that he does have a small clock.
Was an injury?
From what you can tell, it looks like it's wrapped around like the palm of the hand, and there is a very slight red stain that's currently building on the inside of the linen.
Okay. I point at it and go, "Did something happen?"
Nothing of consequence. Just a daily ritual.
I nod and I ask him, "This won't jeopardize your handiwork, will it?"
Seems almost taken back with it.
Of course not. My work is as good as it always will be.
Scar kind of nods and he says, Well, I just want to let you know that the group and I were going to figure out the disturbances within the lake. So we're gonna go check it out. If you require anything from the town, go ahead and pick up any materials that you would need for the blacksmith.
Gives you a nod.
I will. Thank you, Guildmaster. I will be most likely in the blacksmith all day, getting the forge back up and running if you need to find me.
I nod and I kind of like lean in and I say, just so you know, it's just probably going to be you, Remy, and Bone Snapper here for the time being. So whenever you can, just keep an eye on them.
Gives you a nod, and then he offers you an orcish handshake.
I do it.
All right. Giving you a nod, he closes everything up in his...
Can I do an insight check?
Any sign?
Sure. What are you trying to insight about him?
Just his demeanor.
You could say something. Just his current demeanor?
Yeah, I just look at him. I don't say
roll an insight
anything.
check.
Taking a second to roll. Okay, 17.
It's not bad. Okay. I'll say that you can tell that his demeanor is focused. There's also feel that to like not think about it.
Okay. I don't say anything to him. I just let him walk past.
Anyway, he walks out the door. He starts heading. Goes out the door, starts walking down towards the blacksmith, and I'm assuming all of you are getting ready to head out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see like if I can immediately try to find Bone Snapper. If not, I mean, I told 2 people that we were leaving, so.
Yeah, Bone Snapper does not appear to be present at the moment. Your guess is that he's either on his way up or he's still at the farm.
Okay, that's cool.
How many bottles of moonshine do we have? Just out of curiosity. Because it's going to dictate how many I bring.
You were supplied with 16 jars of moonshine.
Okay.
16 rather like sizable jars of moonshine.
Okay, I'm going to bring 3 with us. In that case.
Okay.
Kind of go over in your head. You decide grab another bottle of moonshine to go with you. All right. Without further ado, the party begins to make their way out of the guild hall and down the mountain itself. It's on your way up that you do see Bone Snapper coming up with good old trusty, the fuck was his name? Barkley. Coming up to the guild hall itself.
Okay.
Good morning, your master, and my favorite companions.
I nod
Good morning, Bone
and say,
Snapper.
Bone Snapper.
A pleasant morning to you all, too. Where are you all headed this early in the morning?
It is, by the way, probably pushing about not quite 7 o'clock.
Okay. When he says that, I just kind of turn and look at my brother.
We're headed down to the town to try and see if we can get a couple takers on the moonshine prospect and look around the lake. The fishermen have been, I don't know, hallucinating or having something happen, so we're gonna go take a look into it really fast.
Mighty fine ideas, both of them. Definitely promoting the moonshine would go quite far in helping our,
He looks like side to side, looks back at you.
endeavors.
I chuckle.
Anyway, good luck on your fact-finding mission.
He starts kind of humming a little bit to himself as he continues up. Come on, Buckley.
Moonshine. Nothing
call out
quite
to,
like it.
I call out to Bone Snapper, say, make sure you say an extra blessing over the new batch, okay?
Always do.
before Bone Snapper kind of starts to walk away, and when the party continues to walk forward, I kind of like put my hand on his shoulder, and I turn and I look at him and I say, Bone Snapper, I know the type of person that you are. Just please keep Remy in mind. He is going through a tough time right now, and you two are going to be the only ones at the hall. So I have no doubt in my mind that you'll keep him busy, that's for sure. But just figured I'd say something rather than not say anything at all.
Don't you worry, young guildmaster. Old Bone Snapper knows a few things to keep a mind busy. Anyway.
I see him just drafting him to help with the moonshine boiling process. Now I need you to pour it slowly.
He's like, hey, I'm blind already. I mean, if this batch is bad, it's not going to do anything to me.
Blind man's draft.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
and get it.
I'd buy it.
Yep.
I kind of nod and just tell him we're a group now. We look after our own. So I thank you. And I continue to venture forth.
Okay. Sun begins to rise over the horizon at this point, the golden light of the sun showing through the pleasant farmland that exists around this area. And then as you're coming down the Martin, you catch a great glimpse of the sparkling blues and greens of the lake. You can tell from this distance that much parts of the town are starting to kind of come alive as folks are starting to wake up. You notice that some of the different farms that exist not too far from town are starting to also come alive, as well as much of the late morning chores, and well, late morning for them, are currently being done. Some of people are going in for their kind of a late breakfast for the farmers. But a pleasant 1.5 mile or a 1.5 hour journey later, you find yourself strolling along the dirt roads into Stillwaters. You pass by one of the more notable locations that you were kind of told about when you talked with some of the locals, was what you assume to be Mr. Tenderroot's farm. As you see, there are a multitude of different animals, from goat to what look like to be chickens and other such farm animals that exist. You do, in fact, see a rather tall individual wearing nothing but blue overalls and a straw hat, tending to the animals, kind of chewing on a piece of wheat. Long piece of wheat. But as you pass by, you make yourself way into Stillwaters, and you are officially in town. What would you like to do?
I think, yeah, maybe look for a fishing supply shop or head towards the lake.
Okay. If you're looking for a fishing supply shop, go ahead and just make an investigation roll.
I have no modifier here.
About their business. A lot of them are incredibly polite to you. You find that the folks living in this town are very honest, polite, warm, and kind, genuine people. They inform you that there isn't a specific shop for fishermen's supplies. Most of what the town needs, as far as just general goods, they get from Vanderbilt's.
Okay.
So, Alex, this might kind of sound like a dumb question, but when we're talking like fishermen, are we talking like just fishermen that are off the banks that have like a rod and they're fishing?
You know that it varies from place to place. From what you've seen in this area, from high up on the mountain, you have seen larger wooden boats go out onto the lake, and people throwing nets into the lake to capture fish.
Okay.
So it's been a mix. You have seen people doing that, kind of a more efficient, large-scale fishing technique, and you've seen people just chilling by like a dock or a pier, or simply just fly fishing from the shore itself.
Okay. So with that knowledge, oh man, I just smacked my mic. So with that knowledge, can I like search for a dock? Is there a dock visible?
Yeah.
That would have boats on it in particular?
Yeah, you definitely see it's a large enough lake, so there's probably one big primary dock that's closest to the town, and there's probably smaller ones scattered across where different boats can anchor from different times of the day.
Okay.
You can definitely see that there is a path that goes straight towards the lake.
Okay.
There are also, because it's that time of day, you also notice that there are certain individuals that seem to be coming from that direction with large carts, and each of the carts have multiple wooden baskets, each basket filled with fish.
Okay.
So these are early morning fishermen who are just coming in.
Okay. Can I check to see if they're in particular? I want to try to find like the main dock, like the biggest dock that is like on the lake. And I'm kind of like looking or searching for people that are going to be going out in the afternoon, fishermen that are going to be going out on boats on the lake in the afternoon.
Do you stop and ask any of these particular fishermen, or just asking in general?
Yeah, I'll ask, like, probably like one of the crates that has like the most fish. I'll kind of walk up to the fisherman and ask, I'll ask them questions.
Okay. Maybe in their like early 30s, strong, abled body who seems to be kind of like hired help. The other appears to be someone who'd been in like their mid 50s, definitely graying it in the hair. He's got a long scar starting from top right near his eye, coming down to his jawline.
Hey, my human version. I'm gonna walk up to them and look at them and say, "That's a pretty fine haul you guys got there."
The older gentleman looks at you and goes, "Why, you looking to buy?"
No, but
Well, then piss off. He starts kind of like keep going forward.
Okay. I'll stop at like one of the other fishermen then.
That's a mighty fine look on there. Are you looking to buy? Yeah, no. Well, then piss off.
Yeah, it just cycles forward, and then at the very end, I rage and I slaughter everybody.
You see a halfling driving another car. He seems to be by himself. He seems to be in a particularly good mood, kind of like singing, whistling to himself.
Is he struggling?
No, he's just he's driving the cart.
Oh, okay.
Like he's sitting up top in his cart. He's driving his goat and four that's hauling his particular fisherman's haul.
Okay, I walk up to him.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, mighty fine weather we're having today.
Yeah. Did you have much luck on the lake?
Oh, did I have luck? Have you seen all of this back there? He points at like four full baskets of fish. Definitely my best haul this week. Gonna take home a pretty copper this week, that's for sure.
That's good.
I'm on my way to the butchers and the fishmongers. We're probably gonna sell some stuff to what's her face? He pulls out his old dusty tome.
His client list.
Probably gonna head over to. Oh, did I not write her down? Fuck. I know I have her in the book. Give me a second. I have this person specifically written.
I thought you said you didn't have a dusty tome anymore. It was more like
I have the tome and the dusty drive. Not all of my information. I was heading over to Miss Pebbles. Gonna see if she wants anything for her meals this morning or afternoon or possibly supper.
Well, I actually have a question for you before you head that direction.
Shoot, what you gotta know?
We were told by Mayor Candleflight or whatever, Candlebright.
I'm talking about Father Candleglow.
Yeah, Father Candleglow, that there was an issue at the lake. Do you know anything about that?
I heard that some of the different fishermen were talking about seeing things being disturbed under the waters. I myself don't go too far out onto the lake, but I think that there still might be one of the larger fishing crews might still be by the lake if you're looking to ask some questions.
Do you know what their name is, so when we get down there we can ask?
Sure, I do. You've been looking for a fishing group, and the head man that you're going to be looking for would be, because I've got all of this at the tip of my fingers, that'd be Omar. Hard to miss. Big fella. Looks like one of your kind.
An
Our
orc?
kind? I
I
say
think
to him.
so. I mean, you are orcs after all, I assume. I'm pretty sure he's an orc. I mean, I've never asked, but I've always kind of assumed he's big, muscular. He's got kind of these big teeth kind of come out of his face. I mean, I'm sorry if I offended. I just calls it like I sees it.
No, I'm
I
just
just
messing
tell
with
him
you, Shorty.
maybe he's just
Pat
maybe
his
he's just
head.
ugly. Maybe he's
If you
just ugly.
if you don't seize a Omar for whatever reason, you can always try a couple other people over there that tend to kind of stay by the lake most days. There's Old Man Vesk. He's one of our favorite locals. He's it kind of looks like her kind. Looks over at Brina.
I take offense.
No offense.
I chuckle.
No offense, not meant intended. It's just there's not many of you
Wait.
your kind around.
I turn back.
Not
like
many
I'm
of your
my
kind
neck
around
to
here,
be-
dragon.
We don't get kind. It's session 0 all over again.
Brina's just, trying to like hit only turn back to him and said, well, maybe he just doesn't moisturize enough.
Things.
What's his name? Shelly?
Shelly, yeah, Shelly. He's an oddball, kind of. Likes to kind of go out into the waters, and he's kind of strange. He'll like float on his back and everything with his rod, just kind of like humming to himself. Real chill dude.
I nod, and then I say towards the lake.
Okay. Hello, y'all. Good morning. Starts kind of ushers his goat in along with a little whap of his reins. Pulls the cart along. So at this point, it's probably pushing took you about an hour and a half to get in, so it's probably around 8:30 in the morning right now.
Okay. When I start walking down, I'm looking for orcs when we go
Okay.
down there.
So you're taking the dirt path. It's kind of like a gentle slope all the way down. There's wooden fencing on either side of this pathway to keep it kind of nice and organized and safe. You can definitely tell that this is a path that gets a lot of traffic, as indicative of the marks on the dirt of wagons that constantly go back and forth. You meet a lot of people coming back from the lake, hauling back fish that they've gotten from their early morning haul. A lot of them greet you, give you a typical good morning and everything, fine weather we're having. As you get closer to the lake, you see what seems like to be a very simply built rustic dock, and probably about maybe 6 or 7 boats. Not very large, like seafaring vessels, but larger than a standard rowboat.
Like a
They
metal motorized boat?
go
Or
just
bigger?
a little bit bigger than a metal motorized boat. Big enough to
Okay.
be able to hold a decent haul of fish and go out onto the lake itself.
Okay.
Most of them do have at least like one sail, like that kind of boat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you notice that there's a number of boats that are docked. There's lots of hustling and bustling on the dock itself. People back and forth are shouting orders. You see lots of what look like to be baskets or crates full of fish and other sea life that appear to be kind of being taken off boats and placed onto carts. People be sort of like mushing goat and other animals along to pull their goods from this morning's haul. While you're walking up, go ahead and everybody make a perception check.
14.
Non-natural 20 for me.
Oh, I'm sorry, 15.
Okay, 15. Okay.
22.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Okay.
Not 20.
Starting with the
Yes.
natural 20. Brina, I don't know how you would possibly miss this. There is a large hulking orc on one of the larger vessels who appears to be kind of giving orders to different people boarding his ship and unloading multiple crates of fish. He wears like a red bandana kind of tied across his forehead, kind of tied it off in the back. He's wearing no shirt whatsoever, with a pair of like pants cut off at about the knees. And he is muscular. He is an orc. He's the orkiest orc you have ever orked. Additionally, because you have a natural 20, with your perception, you do notice that there is a figure that is probably about 100, 200 feet into the lake itself that's kind of just floating on his back. At first, you thought it was just a rock that was jutting out of the surface of the lake, but on closer inspection and really squinting your eyes, you notice that there is a humanoid figure floating on his back, kind of holding a fishing rod. And then, of course, Skul, you notice the orc right away, as well as does Scar. Very hard to miss, just as described.
Okay. Is he on the dock, or?
He's currently on his ship, getting helping unload and crates and kind of barking orders to people.
Okay. If I see him, I'm gonna walk towards the dock and on top of it, and kind of get closer to where I can call his name.
Okay. You all begin to make your way down. I'm assuming Z occasionally head, watch where you going. We got stuff to move. As like a couple of like irritated individuals